No problems.
Totally exhausted today.
Yeah. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, any questions on clarifications? I know we had the class 2 weeks back, so thoda bhul gaya rahega, but whatever. Or about anything else, you know?
Swamiji,
Yeah?
in the last class you had covered about this whole thing about, some people talk about mental sannyasa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere in there is a fear of renunciation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the question I had was because, I've happened to have heard some very popular speakers talk about this internal renunciation. So is that all just a makeup and what we have to do is karma yoga?
No, it can be genuine also. It can be genuine that because the mindset is more important than anything. But when people make too much of hoo-ha about this mental sannyasa, no? Internal renunciation, mental sannyasa, then if they're making too much about it, then thoda, it's shaky. They're on shaky grounds. Others will take it matter of fact. Yeah, the sannyasi mind that is important. We have that, and take it like that. Yeah. But when you're playing that up too much, that's a sign that no. Yeah. There is actually jnana lakshana sannyasa. There is no mental sannyasa. There is no jnanena karma sannyasa. That assumes you are already a wise person, actually. Okay. But if they say I am studying Vedanta, but I am mentally a sannyasi, shaky. Something is blocking. It need not be fear, maybe some inhibitions, something that is blocking them.
Swamiji had also mentioned something called Jnana Karma Samujja Sannyasa. Something you had, I don't remember the exact
Jnanena
term.
karma sannyasa.
No, that is okay, but there are something you mentioned, Jnana Karma Samujja something.
Jnana karma samuchaya. For the sake of moksha,
What
you
is
need
that?
mixture of karma and jnanam.
Yeah, that is what other.
Yeah, that is not true. Jnanam is by moksha.
Okay, yeah.
Moksha is by jnanam only. Karma is to
Right,
prepare your
right.
mind. Yeah.
Right. So those teachings that advocate this a mixture of jnana and karma, they are what? They are Vishishta Dvaita?
No,
or
they
what
are misunderstood. Advaitins have misunderstood the Shastra.
Okay.
Yeah. They will all come under Neo Vedantin. See, if you don't, there are a lot of things in Vedanta that you may not understand, and then you may take a stand. So, people who talk about Jnana Karma Samuchaya is taking a stand on that because they are too caught up in their own actions, religious actions. Because your lifetime you have done religious action, you get caught up in that, and you think that will give you everything. So, even if the Shastra comes and says Jnanena Moksha, yeah, but we'll mix up karma along with it. There is no problem in your life. You are doing karma. You are doing karma, fine. Because I want something or the other. That's okay. Do the karma. Or I want antakarna shuddhi. Fine, do the karma. But to think that for moksha you have to mix up jnanam and karma, that's where the problem comes.
Clear.
That is the thing. Yeah.
So Swamiji, from a more pragmatic standpoint, when we talk about internal sannyasa, is it the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti? Is that sufficient?
I don't know what they are beginning. They talk about all sorts of nonsense. Yeah. See, then you say I am an adhikari for Vedanta.
Right.
Then why are you saying internal sannyasi? An adhikari doesn't take himself as a sannyasi or a this thing. He says I am ready to study Vedanta. I am a sishya.
Correct.
If you are a sishya, good. You are a sishya, fine. Acha. You have all the adhikari. So very good. Yeah.
Right. So it boils down to the two nishtha, lokesmin dvivida nishtha. That's
exactly.
it, right? Karma yoga or
sannyasa. Only two lifestyles available.
That's okay. Thank you.
And yes, the mindset is necessary. The karma yogi mindset, when pushed to a little bit more, is the sannyasi mindset. But sannyasa means jnana lakshana sannyasa. I have known the truth, therefore I am no more karta bhokta. That is called jnana lakshana sannyasa. So they won't say I have that because they know they're still students, they don't know. But then if that is being left out, what is internal sannyasa? Then you have good karma yoga nishtha, which is good enough. It's like, you wanting the advantage of being called, oh, I'm like sannyasa, I'm better than a karma yoga. That means even karma yoga is not understood properly. There's a fine spiritual ego coming into the picture, which is a problem sometimes. Yeah. Anything else? And he said there's nothing like picking up, dropping anything, because the self cannot be picked up, dropped, all that we saw in the 38th verse. Okay. Now, 39th verse, he's giving a new name for this knowledge. Okay. Asparsha yogo vai nama durdarshaha sarva yogibhihi yogina bibhyate hyasmad abhaye bhayadarshina. Is straight away dismissing yoga. Okay, all the yogis. He says, Asparsha yogo vai namaha. This is called Asparsha yoga. What is asparsham? That which you cannot touch or feel or sense or smell, anything like that. Which is what your own Atma Swarupa. Therefore, if you want to call it a yoga, call it Asparsha yoga, he says. And Durdarshaha Sarva Yogi Bihi. All the yogis will not get this. Why? Sir, they are still talking about joining, about merging, about samadhi. Udhar hi atka hai. Just stuck there. Okay. Yoga is to join the lower mind, higher mind, Atma with this thing, Paramatma. Whatever you want to talk about, all sorts of stuff is talked about. And here we are talking about something that is free from all types of physical, mental contacts. There's absolutely nothing. You are untouched, the only reality. You are talking of pure knowledge. To put it in yoga knowledge, he puts it like that. Asparsha yoga nama. Yeah. So, this is where it is. And if that's what it is, he says, Yogina bibhyati hi asma. In fact, yogis are afraid of this, he says. Why? Because all their concepts, experiences are challenged. In yoga, you want to put it as an experience. Here, it's a question of knowledge, recognition, purely cognitive. Okay? So, your samadhi, etc., we dismiss as andha samadhi. So, in that light, he says, yogis are scared of it. How can they be scared of it? He says, abhaye bhayadarshinaha. In what will give you abhayam, fearlessness. You are seeing it as a source of fear. Why does this fear thing come in? It's not fear that you are scared of it or something. You are afraid every idea of yours is going to be dismissed. You are holding on to the ideas. You are holding on to your identity as a yogi. Or anything else for that matter. It can be anything else also. You are holding on to your identity as a seeker. You are holding on to your identity. Main sadhu, sannyasi. Atma is not sannyasi. Atma is Atma. Sachidananda Swarupa. So if you are holding on to these identities, and this knowledge is demolishing all of that. All identities are demolished as mithya. Not true. Yeah, you can, it's like wearing a dress for functioning. Itna hi hai. Seeker identity, dismissed. You're going to be a permanent seeker all your life. There is this ashram in South Bombay. They call me to speak. Sometimes I go there. There are people who boast like that. I have been a satsangi for 40 years. 25 years. 40 years. So you've been a satsangi for 40 years. Why are you still stuck in the same place? Because they want the term satsangi. They're holding on to that, identifying with that. I attend satsangs. Somebody will say, I attend bridge parties every day. And these people are saying, I am a satsangi every day. इतना ही फर्क है. Because it has become a time structuring activity. It is creating an identity. When will you say, I am Sachidananda, not just mere satsangi? Sometimes you have to say it. No? And believe me, in that setup, authentic teachers come. Some non-authentic teachers also manage to creep in, but most of them are authentic teachers from Rishikesh, Haridwar, Banaras, etc. I know them well, some of them I meet also. Authentic teachers come. So, identity, yoga, identity. And this yoga identity can be very strong because it involves doing something. No? I remember one guy came to my class once. I said, yoga is preparation for Vedanta, and he got so upset he created a ruckus in the camp. Yeah, I told him, okay, get lost if you don't know. Problem. Why? Because of this. Abhaya Bhaya Darshinaha. That is the idea. Because your identity is being threatened. All your ideas that you are holding on to has to be dropped. That is why a student is asked to cultivate Vairagya. You are learning to let go. If it's a wrong idea, learn to drop it. Let go of it. If an identity has to be dropped, drop it. Yeah. Anything. You can build an identity around anything. Victim identity. Oh my God. People will continue being a victim. Array, freedom awaits. Why you are being victimized by your own thinking and this thing? Break free. No, I have suffered so much in life. This, that. It is my fate to suffer. After all, this is a human lot. They are so in love with that victim identity. Na? Even God doesn't care. Oh Lord, please save me. The victim identity. Yeah, everyone goes through some sufferings here. Come on, some more, some less. I know people in this class who have gone through a lot of stuff and come out fine. Yeah. Come out well, come out courageous. No more thinking of themselves as victims. Yeah. But that helps you hold on. So, yogi is an upalakshana because they are the highest among these lot. Hold on to that identity. Though I really don't know how someone who just does some asana and some half a dozen pranayamas can call themselves yogis, okay? Really speaking, you can call yourself yogis only if you have gone all the way to samadhi. Then you can call yourself a yogi. You don't know before and later. You just do some asanas and half a dozen pranayamas. Asanas they are very good in. Some of them are very good in asanas. But then a gymnast is better. More flexible, more this thing, more dynamic, everything. Yeah. And they call themselves yogis. They don't know much about the philosophy of yoga. No, Swamiji, I am certified by the government of India, public yoga. That is minimalistic qualification to teach yoga in public. So, all these things, what he is using yoga as a nimittam for any identity you hold on to. If you are holding on to that identity, then you will be scared of this knowledge. Because this knowledge is what? Seeing yourself as independent from everything. I mean, people are honest, they'll come and tell me also, ask me also sometime. And I respect that honesty. Swamiji, if you know the truth, after that, will we look after our wife and children? I said, what is preventing you from looking after your wife and kids? Now you're thinking of it as a burden, that time you will look after them happily. As Ananda, you look after them. Now Bhoj hai, got so much of responsibility. This is not true. Whatever has to be done can be done. Because all these are not fully understanding the nature of knowledge or moksha. That's why these problems come up. Because this yoga was about not, you're connected with nothing. You're independent of everything else. There is nothing other than you. Everything is just but at the same time, everything is a manifestation of you. So, other than you, nothing is real. अभी क्या करें? So you want it done. That's a fact. How many of you seen that movie Matrix? So many of you have seen this, yeah. So in that movie, they are in a make-believe world. Some people have got freedom from it. And one person wants to go back into the make-believe world. Because not understood what reality is. At least there it's understandable. Because you're talking about a make-believe world and Vyavaharika Satyam. So there Vyavaharika Satyam is harsh and challenging. So I can understand he wants to go back to his make-believe. But really, do you want to get real in life? No, I'd rather live in my make-believe world. Pathetic, that mindset. What is the difference between that and my friend's sister telling, no, I don't want moksha in this lifetime. I want to come back 2-3 lifetimes to enjoy life and then I'll get moksha. You want to enjoy life through experiences, whereas we are offering you being Ananda itself. To recognition that you are Ananda. Even the need for experiencing happiness goes away. Why? You are Ananda. You are always full and complete. But some distorted thinking, and because of that, abhaye bhaya darshinaha. In what will give you fearlessness, you are scared of that. Very nice expression. Abhaye bhaya darshinaha. Why are they so scared about it? Here. मनसो निग्रह्यन्तं अभयं सर्वयोगिनां दुःखक्षय प्रबोधश्च अक्षया शान्तिरेव च. Says why? Because for the yogi, manasa nigraham atyantam abhayam sarvayoginam. What is called as fearlessness, this etc. is the complete mastery of the mind. When you are in samadhi, everything is fine. What happens when you come out of samadhi? खाली 10 रुपया मिला आज, चौपाती पीछे. So that is the problem. He says it is experiential. Therefore, knowledge etc. is not experiential. He says, what do you say? Vedanta is only sit and talk and talk and talk. You get into samadhi. What is Vedanta doing? You talk and you talk and you talk and you talk. ये पूरा दिन बात ही करता है. I went for a camp and thinking there will be something. What? 5-6 classes all talk. और कुछ नहीं है. I will sit down and control my mind. Why? For if somebody has a problem with thinking, then you have a nightmare right inside, isn't it? If thoughts are your problem, you have a nightmare within you. Yeah. So if your moksha, abhyatvam, ananda is dependent on an experience of samadhi, you will be fine as long as samadhi is there. What happens when you get out of samadhi? Oh, well, too much of problems, etc. Finish quickly what you have to do and try to go back into samadhi. And if you are trying to get back into samadhi like that, it won't work. Because to get into samadhi, there has to be a relaxed dropping of things. You are trying too hard. Then that will lead to self-judgment, etc. Now, what's happening with me? I can't even do this much. Are you getting what the whole thing is? Yeah. Whereas he says, Dukkha Kshaya Prabodhascha Api Akshaya Shantireva. Dukkha Kshaya, negation of sorrow. And he says, Prabodhascha, in knowledge. Akshaya Shantireva. It's a Shanti that never gets over. It's a Shanti that's not experiential. It is Shanti in spite of thinking. It is Shanti in spite of a worried mind. It is the calm center in the storm of all activity. You are free. Because you recognize what you are. Whereas other is dependent on an experience. And experience is always limited, comes and goes. And they will say also, no, once you get the samadhi experience, you don't have to bother about anything at all. Why? When I first started my exposure to Vedanta, I was in this organization. We are all youngsters, okay, still in college and everything. So we all used to talk like that. No, once you get it, you don't need anything. So my friend's kid sister, she must have been what, 12 years, 13 years, just entering teens. I said, Bhaiya, how can that be? If you get a happy experience, you want to keep repeating the happy experience. I said, out of the mouth of babes. She's right. If Ananda is experiential, you'll want to keep repeating it. You'll feel far less about yourself when you're away from that experience. Isn't that why we want to repeat joyful experiences? Hey, Rishikesh was joyful, we want to go back. Bali was so nice, I want to visit it again. Oh my God, that ice cream in that place was so beautiful. I want to go and eat it again. From a small snack to a whole vacation, you want to repeat. So how can you say you get it once, you'll be fine? No experience is permanent. Experience will come and go. And if it's a joyful experience, you want to repeat it. Any joyful experience, mind wants to repeat it. May not be now, but later. You had one ice cream. Wow. One more scoop? Okay. One more scoop. After that? No, not enough now. Why? If you do too much of that experience, then law of diminishing returns will come into the picture. The fifth scoop will not taste as good as the first one. Because the nature is like that, yeah. The nature of experience are like that. Even an ice cream lover, ask him to get eat 10 scoops. Come on, enough. 20 scoops. So there will always be a time when you will say enough. But the same person who said enough today, after 3 days, what will he say? He wants it, no? After 3 days, he is ready for it again. So you need to get the experience, yeah. You can't avoid their experience, you want it. The very nature of this is that. Very nature of an experience is you want to repeat it. And if too much of it is loaded on together, you're going to sensory overload enough of it. Whereas if you want Akshayam Shanti, we say, a Shanti that doesn't grow or decline, then you have to know what you are. You are Shanta Swarupa. Even when you are getting angry, you are Shanta Swarupa, okay? And if you recognize that at that moment, your anger will have no meaning. It's just a mental play. Just a mental play. Therefore, that Shantoham is different from I am experiencing Shanti. Anandoham is different from I am experiencing Ananda. And someone said that, Swamiji, I want to taste sugar, I don't want to become sugar. No, samsari buddhi hai, he wants to keep chatna chahiye, he wants to keep licking everything, that's all. Yeah. Where does the need to experience Ananda come up? Because I have concluded I am not Ananda. I will get it only through 1, 2, 3, XYZ. But everyone's XYZ is different, no? Some people loved Coimbatore. Oh, ashram is so nice. Some people are cribbing. No network, no coverage. Can't even make a call home. Some are cribbing. Oh, so beautiful. Some are cribbing about the food. Rishikesh had such better food. This food is what? They make idli and sambar, no chutney. Ye kya baat hai? Everyone's idea.
Chai was very far.
So everyone's idea of what is joyful is different. No? Yeah. It's nice here, so much of trees and everything. But it's so spread out, you have to walk so much. Everyone got 10,000 steps every day. Walking. Didn't have to go for a walk. Huh? Now what happened to the joyful experience? Huh? There's no one thing that will give everyone the same thing. Yeah. So, Ananda is not an experience. Ananda is... No. Swamiji, it is... Your world is changing all the time. Your mind is changing all the time. So, you get Ananda when you harmonize these two. New theory. It is like the mothership is going up and down through waves. The launch that has come is also going up and down. So when you're crossing from one to the other, you have to time it properly. Seasoned sailors struggle to time and make that jump properly. And that's not Ananda. Bach gaya, acha, I landed safe. So this is what you're talking about, aching Ananda. Aching out Ananda from experiences. कुछ भी बोलने का है without thinking. When if both are changing, how often they will synchronize? Once in a way, na? So your Ananda also will be once in a way. Can't be regularly in sync. It can't always be in sync, yeah. So that's where the whole thing comes. So all these are just theories, philosophical theories, ideological theories, management theories, all floating around. Ananda is yourself. Until you recognize that, you will not be full and complete. After that also, after your Ananda, also your experience of joy and pleasure will be there. Experience of pain, etc. also will be there. Experience of loss also will be there. But all of them at the mithya level. All the world is a stage, men and women but actors. That is a fact for you. So apparently all these experiences are there. They don't limit you. They don't define you. They don't limit you. They're just experiences you are going through. As Anandoham. So Anandoham can go through joyful experiences. sensory experiences, pleasurable experiences, painful experiences. All those are experiences. But you are Ananda right through in all of them. That is born of recognition of the true nature of yourself. That is not another experience replacing. Because if you are getting one experience of Atma, which is Ananda, another experience of samsara, which is a pain, which is true? Both are experiences. How can you say one is more true than the other? In fact, samsara has a commonality. Everyone is experiencing it. Whereas your samadhi experience is 1 in a million is getting it. So which is more true? Samsara. So if you make it experiential, that's the biggest disservice you can do to Vedanta. It is non-experiential, it is purely recognition of what I really am. Okay. Now, certain amount of mastery of the mind is necessary both in yoga and Vedanta. Beg your pardon? Someone said something? Someone is saying something, I think. Or is it just a disturbance coming in?
There is something is open and
Disturbance only, sorry.
Someone's thing is on, not muted.
Not muted, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the thing is now, some amount of mastery of the mind becomes necessary. In yoga, you will go up to samadhi. In Vedanta, you will go to samadhana. That much mastery, then much. Because if you are having depression, this worry, anxiety, etc., that the teaching your Ananda will come filtered through all that. That's why Samadama Uparati is considered important, because it is these three that will give you that inner quietude necessary to understand the truth. So, how do you get that? That he is giving a little bit of an exaggerated example. Okay. Utsekah udadiyatvad kushagreణ किंदुना मनसा निग्रह तद्वद भवेद परिखेदतः भवेद अपरिखेदतः उत्सेकः Udadi is ocean, a big water body, a lake, an ocean. Can be emptied of Utseka. Kusha, grain, binduna. Drop by drop with a blade of grass you are emptying. Drop by drop. Over a long time you can do it. This is okay. Difficult task. Just imagine trying to empty out Bihar lake with a spoon. For a lifetime jayega. Okay. Says, but similarly, manasa nigraha tattva bhaved aparikhedataha. If you are not soaked in sorrow, etc., your mind can also be mastered. Now look at what he is saying. Let us take the question from sorrow. There are two sorrows in every human heart. One is what is manifested, expressed sorrow, which is because of something that has happened. You got hurt, you got injured, someone ditched you, someone betrayed you, you went through a painful experience. This all got a nimitta in it. Then there's an unwept sorrow in every human heart. Okay? The unwept sorrow in every human heart is born of your existential issues. The fact I'm a human being and loneliness, purposelessness, etc. are my ultimate lot. This is the unwept sorrow at the back of everything. What he is talking about here in Samadama is the sorrow that is because of a reason. Come on, yaar, I got a heart attack. You expect me to be joyful or what? The guy is justified in asking that. Okay, so be depressed. Will that help you? Why me? Correct. Why me? So those things have to be handled psychologically. Okay? So Samadama is actually speaking the psychological process. Oh, you meant to say everyone should go for therapy? No. It's understand the psychological process and deal with it. How to handle your mind. How to change the thinking that's causing all these type of emotional issues. Feelings are caused by thinking. Change those thinking. Express that sorrow. Grieve. You've gone through something? Grieve. It's important to grieve. Yeah. Recognize Ishvara's play there. So the whole gamut of things. By whatever you want. By any means, handle that. And we think therapy is only one thing. There are so many schools of therapy. Yeah. Rogers, client-centered, that, oh my God. Existentialism. And don't even talk to me about analysis. It's a 10-year program. Psychoanalysis. Jungian. Jungian is a good model to understand what happens in the mind. But not as therapy. Oh my God. You lost somebody and it will take 10 years to recover from the grief, and that also you may not at the end of 10 years. Jungian or Jungian, as they call it, yeah. And sometimes someone with some common sense tells you a few things and you feel fine about it. So, this overt grief that we have because of some experiences, etc., some events, etc., some issues, etc., okay, that needs to be handled psychologically by yourself. That is samadama. Okay? If you have taken care of that, he says, then mastery of the mind is very simple. With some Vedanta exposure, etc., some japa dhyanam, some centering on yourself, etc., mastery is simple. Worry, anxiety is taken care of by karma yoga buddhi, prasada buddhi, ishvara arpanam and prasada. It takes time to stabilize yourself in that, but it can be done. So once these things are done, what is the master? Some building up of self-esteem, very important for mastery. If you think you're useless and not good enough, how are you going to master your mind? You conclude you're useless, not good enough. It's like someone comes to Swamiji, Swami Chinmayanji acts it out. There are these videos available on the net. Swamiji, I am a sinner, I have done so many wrong things. I am not fit for God. How can, किस मुंह से भगवान को दिखाओ? What face will I show the Lord? And so, you know what Swami Chinmayanji says? Only sinners require God. Only those people who have made mistakes in life require God. If you are perfect, why do you want God? He says, you have a right to do all the sins in the world. Because freedom of choice is given to you. No? But you also have a responsibility. You also have a responsibility to get out of that rut that you are in. Yeah. That's what it is. So, what are you talking about? That self-condemnation is not accountability. Accountability, yeah, I made a mistake, I'll make up for it. What else? I'll make amends, I'll get out of it. Finished. Okay, come. What's the big deal about it? Yeah, you made a mistake, correct. A big one, yeah, big one. Swamiji, not just one. It's okay. You made a dozen. It's all right. Get over it. Do prayaschitta if you need to. Yeah, make amends in whatever manner you can. Swamiji, there's so many, I can't make amends to. People are dead and gone also. Say a prayer for all of them. Do some religious prayaschitta. Do something like that. Yeah. And then come, learn. Api chetavi papebhyaha papakrit tamaha api. Jnanagni bhasmasat kurute. Even if you are the best among the sinners, you have done every crime in the book plus some. You invented some new ones also. Jnanagni bhasmasat kurute. The fire of knowledge burns them all up. There's a great motivation for me to study Vedanta, okay? So, the final knocking off of grief, guilt, etc. is only this knowledge. Freedom from guilt and pain at the absolute level is with self-knowledge. Relative level, your mind needs to be worked upon. That's what is highlighting here. The relative working upon, getting the samadama. Because the mind is too full of that. Therefore, the teaching will come filtered through all that. You're saying you are nothing but Anandagana. You'll say, Atma may be like that, I am not like that. Or your Atma is like that, my Atma is not like that. Which is worse? You will tend to create all these dichotomies, etc. in your mind. So, a little bit of that handling. That's what is highlighting in this verse. Okay, not that it is a big struggle. Okay. So he says that, he's highlighting that. Upayena nigrihyani yadi vikshiptam kama bhogayoho suprasannaha laye chaiva yatha kamo layastataha. This is also when you are contemplating. This looks more like that, Okay. Upayena, by whatever means necessary. Nigrihyana. Bring that mind under your mastery, he says. That is running away where? Kama bhogayo. He gives an example. Kama, bhoga. This is generally, what are you going to think about? Something that you like, something that you enjoy, something that you want to repeat as an experience. Okay. You'll also go to what you're guilty about, what you're pained about. Pain, your pain, you don't think too much. People don't think. See, painful events come up and hijack your mind. The memory comes up and hijacks your mind. But you are not constantly thinking of your painful event. Why? Why are you not constantly thinking? When it is fresh, you may be thinking. After that, what happens? This brings down to the first. What is the first duty of the mind? First responsibility of the mind is what?
Preserve and protect.
Exactly. Survive. Preserve, protect, survive. For that, it has to avoid pain, danger. Pain is danger. Painful events, dangerous events, it has to avoid. And go after pleasurable things. Isn't it? So the mind will not think of the sorrow part of it so much. And now sometimes you can't help it, it comes up in you. But consciously, are you going to go and think, oh, everything is fine right now, okay? You're okay. Then your umber saddens. Okay. Kya karega? No. I want to bring that sad incident in my mind and keep suffering. Will you consciously do that? I put people through a grief recovery workshop where one of the thing is to consciously examine the grieving in a structured manner. Consciously examine that event Swamiji, it's too tough. Should I really do it? Nobody wants to, because survival involves avoiding pain. And then if you avoid pain, what are you going to go in for? Pleasure. Kama bhoga yoho. That's why he's mentioning it. This is what, I don't have many great desires or bhoga or something. No. This is the natural tendency of the mind. To go for pleasurable things, repeat that. Okay. Or suprasannam lave chaiva. I don't want to experience anything. I just want to sleep. If you are sleeping more than 8-9 hours a day, there is some pain in you, some sorrow in you that is not resolved. Why? Sleep is a way of escape. So he says, Yatha kamo layastata. Like how your mind is going into kama and you have to sort of kama and bhoga and you have to get it back and master it. Similarly, if your mind is going into laya, recognize there is a problem there and bring it back. Nowadays there are different types of layas. What is the biggest laya that you have in your life nowadays?
Mobile.
Scrolling. Endless. Hey, I heard about something, therefore I want to look into it. No. Mindless scrolling. From one story to another story to something. What are the stories about? Family dished you, someone insulted you, someone this thing, how you got back at them. That's all, no? Itna hi hai. The whole story is only that much. But various scenarios they'll present. And then after some time you need to click something else. Continue for part 2. What are you doing? Mindlessly scrolling. Laya, that is. Your mind is absorbed in that, doesn't have to think of real life, no? Doesn't have to think of the facts you are facing. Or what you have to do, which is maybe difficult, maybe challenging. You don't have to face that. It's escapism. 10 years back it was TV scrolling up and down. 1 to 500, 500 to 1. Channels. And you could, there's nothing. All right, half an hour you have scrolled right from 1 to 500. Nothing. Good. Wait for a couple of hours before you get back into it. No. Again you'll start. Yeah. Now I don't see people doing that so much on the TV, but I see it on their phones. 4 people going out for dinner, all of them on their phones. Then you might as well order dinner individually and have it. That's why in the ashram, being without network was a good idea. But I still found people reaching for their phones. But nothing. No network. Sometimes it's good. It was a forced digital detox. And for those who had to check out whether there's any messages there, etc., it is available for a couple of hours. The network was available also. Okay. But this is it. That laya expresses in different ways. Laya is absorption. So you can be absorbed in something which is disconnected with your life, but which mimics life, like your social media, etc. Or a TV serial or a movie or something. Escape is fair. Laya is like that. Sleep is like that. Yeah. I want 10 hours of sleep every day. What is your secret sorrow? 10 hours of sleep. It's not biologically healthy. Yeah, lack of purpose also. Lack of commitment, lack of purpose. Yeah. Escaping the harsh realities of life. Harsh realities, you don't have a purpose. Or harsh realities, you have to handle some very, very difficult thing. You need to have that talk with your mother-in-law.
Absolutely. Having a strong sense of purpose definitely helps you navigate tough situations and those challenging realities of life, whether it's dealing with family
One second.
dynamics or
Who's asking what?
That was, I think, an automated thing.
Yes.
Alexa or something.
Who's playing around with this chat GPT and things like that? Please stop doing that nonsense, okay? Turn your chat GPT or AI on your phone and then all these messages coming up. Mute your phones. All of you mute it, you know. Yeah. I mean, something like this popping up, what the heck? Yeah. More than my line of thought being broken will be your line of thought that is broken with all this nonsense. For me, it's very clear. We started with Laya. And why are you using ChatGPT for everything? People are using ChatGPT for Vedanta. The worst thing you can do to understand Vedanta is use ChatGPT or AI or anything like that. If you want to use it for other things, please use, not for Vedanta. Because these are all things that give you information from what is available on the net. 80% of the Vedanta available on the net is wrong. So you will be putting all nonsense into your this thing. I know people have sent me this, and I find this all what nonsense is written. What am I teaching them for? If you are using it to create a draft or something like that, and then you're working on it, personalizing it and making it your own, that's a different matter. Even if you're writing an article and then you're personalizing it, verifying is it true or not, and then doing it, it's a different matter. Anyway, but now why is that being used? That's also part of Laya. I know the host, and I'm avoiding that because I'm getting people the chance to be responsible. Yeah. Now, here it is. That is another form of Laya, na? Escapist. You don't want to think purposefully, let somebody else do your thinking. It's just a data tool, gathering data. For that it is good. Yeah. Or enhancing a design, good. Use it for that. Your thinking is your responsibility, especially when it comes in Vedanta. Yeah. I guarantee you, anyone who has used ChatGPT for Vedanta, mistakes would have crept in unless you have corrected it yourself in the light of what you gained in the class. 100% I'll guarantee this. People have sent me articles and as though they have written it, and I know immediately it is ChatGPT because certain things creep in which I have never said, and I will not say also. So be careful of all these tools that you use. That becomes another form of Laya, escaping. Accountability is not there with me. No? Yeah. So whether it is Kama Bhoga, whether it is an escapist fare, deep sleep, scrolling through social media, endless scrolling. Social media is a tool. I am on Facebook. So when I have something to do, I post on it. Otherwise, nothing. 2-3 people I follow because I know what they put up is good stuff. Good stuff, solid good stuff they put up. So I want to see what their opinion on certain issues are. So I look into that. And sometimes when I'm looking at some friends thing will pop up. If I like it, I'll give it a like. That's it. So use it in a limited manner. Otherwise, again, it's escapist fare. The Laya, this, that, everything is all the same. All this is an attempt to escape from the reality, not understanding the reality. Therefore, no mastery of the mind. That's what it shows. So, if you are looking to escape from your Vyavahara, do you think you will be able to understand reality which is beyond Vyavahara? When you are escaping from this Vyavahara, you are going into some subjective realms. A mixture of Vyavahara and subjectivity. That's what you are going into. And here we have to become more objective and go to the other end, to the reality. How will that mind do it? The mind will not be able to do it. Yeah. Because it's too subjective. It's too much of subjectivity. And here it's all about being objective, about letting go. being alert, deliberate. So there's what the whole picture is. So he says that Laya is a problem in the whole thing. He says. Okay. Okay, suprasannam laye chaiva yata kamo layastatha. Okay. Then a couple of verses. Okay. Okay. Next verse is a bit more profound than this. Okay. There's two aspects of it. Now the Buddhists have a technique. Now this looks as though you are the next verse is almost as though referring to Buddhism. One technique the Buddhist uses is Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham Sarvam Anityam Anityam. They'll make it almost like a mantra. You know? They'll make it like a mantra that everything is Anantam, everything is finite, everything is this thing. So that the Buddhist uses to gain some sort of hold on the mind. Up to a point it is useful. But that is not the reality. We are not saying everything is Dukkham Dukkham. We are saying everything is Ananda. So if we keep saying everything is Dukkham, then again you may withdraw from a kama or a bhoga, but you will not be able to understand the truth because you are conditioned to thinking everything is dukkha. Because he uses this argument in the next verse. So I am putting in a caution right here. Okay? Take it with a caution, only for a given purpose. Okay? It's like Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana is not reality. Pratipaksha Bhavana is taking the opposite stand. You think money is everything, and the Pratipaksha Bhavana is money is nothing. So the mind will come to a balance. Says no, there are some uses. Okay. Some places it won't work, some places it will work. So keep it to that thing. Yeah. Some sort of inducing vairagya can be there, but that type of vairagya will not last. No. Because vairagya demands for an objectivity. In fact, better to be objective and develop vairagya that way. Unless I am fascinated with something so much that my mind is so involved, I can't break free from that. I can't become objective. Then a Pratipaksha Bhavana is used. So Pratipaksha Bhavana in Vedanta is used very, very small, very limited. It's not given as a general purpose thing. Like if you read Bhajagovinda, the whole thing is Pratipaksha Bhavana only. Nothing reality about it, except one or two verses here and there. So Pratipaksha Bhavana is used only for small issues. And major issue of dependence or something like that, you will use it. Not as norm. But more of this we will see in the next verse in the next class. Okay, good place to stop here. Okay, Om Tat Sat. Take care. Night is still